Sell all and leave. Richard Hart just defeated SEC and Hex is up 70%. First Crypto Summit is announced to happen in a week from now. If you're not paying attention, you are missing on one of the biggest shifts in crypto right now. After the months of legal battles, the SEC case against Richard Hart was actually dismissed, and Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, even had to apologize. But this is just the start of it. Bitcoin is at the key support levels, holding them quite well. Most short-term holders are in the red, and indicators are lining up the same way they're lining up before giant moves upward. So, is this the start of the full-blown alt season or just another fake out? And we're going to break down what's happening with Bitcoin, what are the alts to position yourself into right now. We will talk about Pnut, about Neiro, about Alch, and Pulse Chain and Richard Hart specifically. Most market participants won't realize the benefits of current positioning before it's too late, eventually serving as exit liquidity. Yours exit liquidity and mine exit liquidity. Do me a favor, press the like button and let's start. Breaking news, Richard Hart defeats the SEC. The motion to dismiss based on jurisdiction was granted successfully by Judge Auntie Carol. The cookies were tasty. Thank you, Auntie Carol. This is your friend Somi. He is the biggest Pulse Chain influencer. Pretty nice content, I might say. He's doing like 4 to 5 videos a day, which is crazy. And this one is actually huge because cases like this with crypto founders, they were never won before. Like XRP is battling their case for years at this stage, and Richard Hart actually had just won this case. It's also quite interesting that yesterday we had the 7 planets aligning out there, and Richard Hart will win his case. It's like this magical simulation set up for a giant alt season where most likely the coins of Richard Hart are actually going to pump first. We will discuss this. It's a very, very strong call. Hart moves to dismiss all claims, both for lack of personal jurisdiction and for failure to state a claim. For the reasons stated below, the motion of dismiss is granted. Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, who is calling Richard a scammer, is apologizing. Well, let me be the first to apologize to Richard. If you think about that, they're actually quite similar. They just created a very, very strong cult, very, very strong followings. And it's interesting that like this is something we don't have this cycle. We don't have any prominent figures like founders of the chains at this stage who are pushing, who are creating the cults. Last cycle we had plenty. This cycle we had influencers. They are just people of different caliber. I would say they are smaller, right? So we're definitely waiting for someone to step in and really become this role model, because most of crypto market participants are cuckolds and pussies and they need someone to essentially lead them. So maybe Richard will actually become this type of role model and figure. Quite a short time. All started to pump since the bottom. It's already actually slightly correcting, right? So it's up 30% on 24 hours. This stage is like 350 million market cap. And yeah, it's not much. It's not much. This chart definitely looks nice. Something I would still kind of want to see is a bit of sideways movement right here. Something I would just want to see in this chart, right? We'll see what will be happening with this one, but some people they definitely entered some polls. Only speculation that Richard Hart might just keep pumping it further, because like this type of moves that it had, they're definitely not organic, and I don't think you should look into technical analysis when you're looking on the charts of Pulse. Pulse X chart is up 50% as well. And this one looks slightly better to my liking. Hex is also up 50%. Also looks slightly better as a chart to my liking. I would just expect like a bit more like sideways consolidation right here, and then final breakout and the final send up as well. Ink incentive right now is outperforming all of these coins. Well, maybe because of the fact that the market cap of this thing is just lower, right? Probably had some insiders buying here, or maybe it was just a bullish setup on the marketplace overall. But yeah, probably getting some Pulse asset at this stage might be quite nice. They also have a meme coin, which is called Teddy Bear, which is also up 40%. And yeah, it has a very, very low liquidity to market cap ratio. Maybe it's not the main liquidity pool, but if it's like this, then maybe buying into it actually would make some sense, right? It also kind of follows the chart of alts and the charts of Ethereum and BTC, right? We had this drop on 3rd of February, printed a new low. Right now we're just consolidating, and it's pretty much at the tops of this local range at this stage. Enough about Richard Hart. We have something more interesting to even focus on. White House to host first ever crypto summit. Washington, D.C. The White House announced today that President Trump will host and deliver remarks at the first ever White House Crypto Summit on Friday, March 7th. Guys, this market is so rational. Like, imagine this type of news happening like a year ago. Like, they will send everything to Valhalla right away. Right now, we're getting this type of news and no one cares. I do believe that this like numbness, it will end after some period of time. Like, to be honest, like, yeah, we are following macro, we were following stocks correcting and things like that, but this stuff, like, it's just insane. White House hosting Crypto Summit, where the president of the US is talking on. Attendees will include prominent founders, CEOs, and investors from the crypto industry, as well as members of the President Working Group on Digital Assets. The summit will be chaired by the White House AI and Crypto Caesar David Sachs and administered by the Working Group's Executive Director Bo Hines. Previously, President Trump promised to be America's first crypto president, and in his Week 1 Executive Order 14178, he declared that the policy of administration is to support the responsible growth and use of digital assets across sectors of the economy. Guys, the plan there is quite clear. They want to strengthen up US dollar over time. They want to allow the usage of the stable coins in the whole world. They say the reason he was meeting with Coinbase. They want to create this ecosystem where anyone can be creating a company in the US just remotely, digitally, and use stable coins as a payment method, which will strengthen up the dollar, which will unlock the liquidity, which will do all the good stuff to the US. And it's not happening on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is against the dollar. Ethereum is pro-dollar because it's most likely going to be used as a layer to finalize all these transactions on eventually. Probably like some layer 2, so probably Base, because Trump was meeting with the CEO of Base. After the previous administration unfairly prosecuted the digital asset space, President Trump's policy vision represents a new era for digital financial technology. The administration is committed to providing a clear regulatory framework, enabling innovation and protecting economic liberty. It's quite interesting that like thus far in all these years, no regulative framework was provided for crypto. It's almost like what they actually wanted is to be able to put anyone to jail at any point of time they actually wanted to. This is the only reason of absence of presence for a regulatory framework in crypto for all these years, 100%. Talking about insiders and our industry overall, the bounce on BTC started before the news actually broke out. So it started even like 1.5 hours earlier, before White House to host first ever crypto summit on March 7th. Bunch of insiders in this space, right? This chart, short-term holder heat map, shows the unrealized net profit loss for short-term holders, specifically for Bitcoin right here. Short-term holders, people that bought Bitcoin in the last 150 days, 155, they're actually in red. They're not in profits at this stage. And this blue line, which is the support zone of short-term BTC holders of their realized profit, usually was actually serving as a support line, support zone for BTC bull market in 2021 and in 2017. Bitcoin cost basis distribution. Right now we're kind of in no man's land. The biggest support zone is located at $64,000, where 200,000 Bitcoin was accumulated. And the biggest resistance sits at $97,000, where 400,000 BTC was bought. Let's talk about trade wars for a short period of time. Usually people think that Bitcoin benefits from trade wars. However, it's not the case right here. Since the trade war started, gold is heavily outperforming BTC, despite the fact in the period from 2025 till 2023, gold and Bitcoin were seen as substitutes. More on that, since the inauguration of Trump, crypto total market cap actually fallen from 3.6 trillion to 2.8 in 5 weeks, despite the fact that Trump is essentially being seen as a crypto president out there. Main events, trade war worries number 1, trade war worries number 2. I would say that mainly these things happened is because there was just too much loan leverage in the ecosystem. And this is the full BTC charts with everything that happened around tariffs. February 1st tariff start date. Trump denies reports that Canada-Mexico tariffs are delayed. Right here, we're seeing a red candle. European Union tariff rumors begin. Right here, red candle as well. Trump says 25% tariffs coming for a Eurozone as well. Huge red candles right here. Now, moving on into alt season. Crypto total market cap chart right now actually looks identical to how it was looking before the kickoff of the alt season in the last cycle. Sentiment is perfect from my point of view as well. We can see even the same chart patterns right here and right here being printed on these charts. And before the alt season finally started, we also had a huge drop. The speculation is that we might actually be going higher from here. And bottom to top increase in crypto total market cap, if we would be seeing somewhat similar expansion, should put us from $2.8 trillion right now to more than $12 trillion. 4x increase at least. Your alts will go nuts. And I love the current sentiment. I love the fact that people are saying alts not pumping, only certain sectors will outperform. We will see. We also see on the chart Altcoin golden cross, which is happening right now when the sentiment is bearish, high bearish, like we just had a day of fear and greed of 10. Yesterday, we just figured out that the sentiment wise, the worries, the fears of investors on the market yesterday, they were the same as fears on 9/11. Nothing is happening currently. Nothing is happening. This is absolutely insane. The golden cross between 100 MA and 200 MA right here. Bullish signal for your alts. Every 4 years, alt season starts in February. Right now, we're at the 1st of March. I would say 100%. We're seeing that things are delayed. But I would also say that there are reasons for it. I do think that things that Trump is doing right now are just crazy manipulation in order to sort some things out. We also have BTC ETF that slightly changed the dynamic that we're seeing in this cycle thus far. Had pump fund, all this stuff that essentially happened. I still think this is something that is happening, and I still think that right now is actually a very nice time to position, which I'm doing myself, and I will share the things I am positioning into in a few minutes. This is the Bitcoin dominance chart applied to Wall Street Sentiment Index. What we can see right here is that it perfectly follows the Wall Street sentiment thing, right? We are at complacency for BTC dominance at this stage. And I've been screaming to you for months that BTC dominance just repeating the price action of BTC dominance from the previous cycle. Man, this should be ideal entry point to actually enter at this stage. So in the night, I actually got stopped out on my Alch and Neiro longs. I was up, I think total at the peak I was up around $13,000 to $15,000. Unfortunately, I was able to take some profits from these positions, but my nearest stop loss definitely was at the break-even. So today morning I re-entered Alch with lower leverage right here to be a bit more safer, just because of the fact I'm seeing on the chart that we had the key support. And I actually wanted to re-enter Neiro as well, but for some reason I randomly entered Pnut, so I just decided to hold it. Pnut is essentially one of the most performing coins out there currently. I believe that Neiro should outperform Pnut because of the fact that essentially the market cap of Neiro is lower at this stage. So maybe I will reposition at a certain point of time, but this is something I would just be planning to hold for some time. My blast long, also quite a decent one. This one is quite a risky one. Down $800 on this thus far. Just holding. We'll see how it essentially turn out eventually. This is it from my end. Thank you very much for watching. Stay healthy and rich. And I'll be seeing you on Monday, but maybe, just maybe tomorrow. Bye-bye.